Hello, welcome to Garage Football. In this video we're going to be previewing Arsenal versus West Ham United. Bill, we're going to go head to head. But before we talk about Arsenal v West Ham, I just want to say to everyone that's been watching our videos and supporting us so far, sorry that there's not been anything for a couple of weeks. We actually did record a season preview, didn't we, with Imdad?
Yeah.
But we had some technical issues, which is why the video has been delayed, which you can now view the video on the link below. But I think some of our opinions since we made that video may have changed slightly, which we'll discuss in this video.
Absolutely, yeah.
But no, Arsenal, West Ham, both going through a transition at the moment. Two new managers, 2 games so far, we've both lost.
Yeah.
I think you could say the pressure's on. What's your thought on West Ham so far?
A bit mixed, really. Obviously, it'd be nice to get some points on the board already, but it is only 2 games. I thought it would take a while for West Ham and Arsenal to, turn their fortunes around. Really, it would take time, and the first 2 games for both teams have shown that time's needed.
Yeah.
I think the first game West Ham played against Liverpool, that I wasn't expecting much. Our record at Anfield historically is woeful, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, look, 4-0 is not a great scoreline, but I wasn't expecting much. The more disappointing thing was the Bournemouth game. The first half we played okay. I think we just shaded it. I'd say just about deserved a 1-0 half-time lead. But the second half, I don't know what it was. The combinations we did well in the first half
Just wasn't clicking, was it?
wasn't being attempted in the second half. So we weren't really much for a threat, bits and pieces really. And at the back we looked so open. So Bournemouth definitely deserved to win 2-1. So that was the more disappointing thing. But if we can build on what we did in the first half against Bournemouth, do more of that over a run of games, I think we will pick up results eventually. But yeah, early days. I think it's a bit too over the top, the criticism so far on Twitter from some West Ham fans. I heard a fan on TalkSport saying that Pellegrini should be sacked already.
Oh, what a load of bollocks that
Which is just an absolute joke, in my opinion. Absolutely ridiculous. He's a fantastic manager. Arguably, the credentials-wise, probably the greatest in our history, given what he's achieved in the game. So,
better than Big Sam.
Oh God, enough about him. But I know it's all said a lot, but Rome wasn't built in a day and all that kind of thing. But we had David Moyes in charge for the majority of last season. He played 5 at the back all the time. We've got a different manager, a different philosophy. Brought a lot of players in. It was always going to take time, but I was prepared for that.
But that's the thing, though. Pellegrini, what a signing that was alone, and a lot of the players that you've got now, and we'll talk about some of the Arsenal players you've got later in this video. You'd never have got him without him.
Absolutely.
He's attracted those names.
Yeah.
But no, when people turn around and say, get them out, after a couple of games, it's ridiculous. And it's similar with Arsenal at the moment. I mean, the first 2 games that we've had so far, let's be honest, the first game, Man City, you're playing the champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the greatest team in a long time, that have won the league.
Yeah.
They are a force. They've only had to sign Rudy Mahrez, haven't they? And to think you've got him coming off the bench, and De Bruyne's off at the moment. Don't really miss him, do they?
No, not at the moment.
It's scary, really. They beat us. But the thing is, Arsenal, although they've got whipped, really, they were showing a bit of positive energy, and they were showing that they were working as a team.
Well, certainly he was better than the corresponding fixture last season against City, where it was snowing heavily, 3-0 defeat, absolutely terrible. Arsenal were in the game against City, and against Chelsea, where they've got a pretty poor record recently, haven't they? Yeah. They played well and should have scored more goals.
And another day we could have won that.
Yeah.
And we should have done. But the thing is, I think Arsenal, they are adapting. They are adapting, and they're not used to this style, especially the pass back, and Czech's a bit, wobbly woo, as we like to say. But as far as I'm concerned, I think we just need to get behind the manager at the moment. I think it's going to take time. It's going to take time. the players, they need to respond. And like you said, Rome wasn't built in a day. Now Emery's going to just kind of. He's trying to suss the players out at the moment, like the way he took Ozil off the other day.
Yeah, and he took Xhaka off at half time, didn't he? Whereas, if Wenger was still in charge, probably Xhaka would have stayed on for the whole of the game.
Big question how he got on the pitch in the first place, isn't it? Or Mustafi. But but there are some great additions and potential like Guendouzi at the moment. I mean,
he's played great, isn't he?
Granted, he's young and he makes a few mistakes, but he's got the potential, mate. He's
doing better than Xhaka and his other midfield colleagues, you have to say, at the moment.
I'm excited, and then you've got Aubameyang, who's a fantastic striker, but couldn't quite finish the other day. Mkhitaryan couldn't, so they were letting the side down. But when they improve on that, which they can do, they're more than capable. And when it does click, and when we do get, and they understand his system, and he probably, with another transfer window, and he gets the additions he wants, I think Arsenal will be a strong side. Now, in the preview video, which again you guys can check out, I did say that Arsenal will finish third. In the
Can I change your mind about that now?
Yeah, I think it's either going to be fifth, to be honest, or I could agree with you. We could just about make top four.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal's still got the potential, but I don't think we're going to be higher than that. Really, I think United will be stronger, or Tottenham. It kills me to say that. but I think even if Arsenal don't finish fifth, even if they finish sixth this year, like they did last year, I think we still need to get behind the team.
As long as you can see progression.
That's it, and it's going to take time. But he needs 3 seasons. Transfer windows.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with Pellegrini at West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have to get behind him, and any players that turn around and think, 2 games, or even if the next couple of games you're still not getting the results, it's going to take time to click.
But that's the thing, Ryan. Once it does click with us, we're gonna beat a lot of sides.
Yeah.
We've seen flashes so far. Obviously, it's not enough to got any points so far. But when it does click for us, and the chemistry's all in sync, and he gets the right players, because he doesn't know his best starting 11 at the moment. Which is fair enough.
I think both managers are in the same boat.
Yeah. And best formation at the moment. It's still trying to figure that out. But once that does happen, I think we're going to be a really good side. And
I also think with West Ham, if my prediction was 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
Even if you finish the same as last season, 13th. Yeah. I still think you've got, the fans have still got to get behind him. Okay, if you're close to relegation and he's keeping you up, then you've got to think, right, okay. But this whole philosophy of just get rid of the manager, it's ridiculous. I can't stand it. And, I think they both need, Emery and Pellegrini need 2-3 seasons to really shine, and the fans need to get behind him. If after a season or 2 seasons, you're going backwards, then of course everyone's going to think, have we got the right manager, have we got the right philosophy? But I think with a bit of patience, I think West Ham will be a great team, and I think you will start to win trophies again. I think that's my prediction with you. I still think maybe not this year, but I said in the preview you could win the League Cup this year, but he likes that trophy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he won it twice at City. It's been a while since West Ham have been in a final, let alone win a trophy, but I just want a comfortable season, really. Last couple of seasons we've flirted with relegation far too much. The whole point of moving to the London Stadium was to, fight at the top end of the table and try and qualify for Europe consistently. Not expecting that this season at all. Even after regardless of the poor start, I still wasn't expecting European places. We just need to be around mid-table and not look over our shoulder the whole season, which we have done. So,
fans need to be patient.
Yeah, I think the majority are, but I think there's on Twitter and as mentioned earlier about the fellow on TalkSport asking for Pellegrini to get the sack. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I think
it'd be good to get some comments from some people. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you agree with us that we need patience and give them a couple of seasons, or do you think after a couple of games, if there's more losses, get them out? Hopefully not.
But yeah, I think as I say, once we do click, and players know exactly how to play under Pellegrini. And I think the same with Emery at Arsenal. Once he knows his best team, and he gets rid of a few players like the next few transfer windows, I think Arsenal will come good again.
Yeah, I do.
So on Monday Night Football, Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, they were talking about Emery and Arsenal quite extensively, weren't they? Whose side of the fence are you on? Who did you agree with more?
Well, I'm completely sitting on the fence. I did see both opinions. I could see both of their points of views, but I think Jamie Carragher had a point of, look, you can't just have one style. You need to adapt around certain teams and adjust your ways. And Gary Neville, was saying that, look, you've got to enforce what you're playing. What your structure is, otherwise players will walk over you, or they'll get confused. They'll think, okay, this is what I need to do, but sometimes I've got leniency to deviate from that. They need to know.
They need clear direction.
They need clear direction, and I think I kind of agree more with Gary Neville. I think that's the way forward.
Yeah.
But equally, you do need to adjust your ways slightly in certain scenarios. I think you have to have plan Bs.
Yeah, I think we saw that against Man City, didn't we? Where Pet nearly scored no goal. And like silly things like that. Well, you don't play that way.
Confidence with that pass back.
Yeah, but you don't play that style against Man City, the best in the league, best team in the league, and the best at closing from the front along with Liverpool. You just don't do that. You be more direct. And try and get the ball in midfield quickly rather than. Because they like winning the ball up higher. It
gets to that point where you think, surely it becomes predictable.
Yeah, got to change up. Even Man City, even Edison changed. He changed it up. They like to pass it around the back, but against Huddersfield, they pinged it. The first goal, Aguero's first goal, they pinged it to the halfway line, and Aguero scores. So
that's my worry with Emery. I mean, I've got loads of faith in him, and I believe that he's going to be that manager that's going to get Arsenal the title again. I think in a couple of seasons we can challenge for the title, but if it becomes too predictable, we're not really going to progress.
Okay. Well, we've talked about the first couple of games of both teams, so let's talk about the match, Arsenal West Ham. So, how do you see it going?
I think it's going to be a tough game. Actually, I think both teams have got a point to prove. They want to win, and obviously you've got 3 ex-Arsenal players for starters. I mean, Fabianski, it's been a few seasons since he played for Arsenal, and I understand why he left. He wanted to be the main goalkeeper, and he was never going to get that position. But he's a good goalie for you. Wilshere, gutted about him.
Yeah.
I think, and I have to agree with what Johnny said on an Arsenal preview, that if you really love your team, a new manager's come in and they said you can't guarantee regular football. Okay, we'll stay for one season and try and fight for your place, and then move on if you have to. Having said that, though, I think he does deserve a good reception. And I don't think he's left on bad terms.
No,
and I think he'll have a point to prove against Arsenal, so he'll give us a go. Lucas Perez, what a signing! I think he wasn't treated very well at Arsenal. I'm going to be honest.
A bargain, really. 4 million, 5 million, and Arsenal bought it for 17 million, was it?
Yeah.
So a bargain, really. I have to say. He came off the bench against Bournemouth, good movement, and he whipped some great crosses into the box. Unfortunately, no one could get on the end of it, but it looked pretty sharp actually. I don't think he'll start. He'll probably come off the bench again, but I think for that money as well, I think it'll be good for us.
But I think, and he's going to have a point to prove. He's going to show Arsenal what you're missing, kind of thing, and he never got the chance. I think they didn't have the trust in him, and he did play well for Arsenal. But with that said, I think I'd like to think Arsenal can win. I think technically we are the stronger team at the moment, but we're both in a similar boat, and you've probably got more players that are going to want to sort of win against Arsenal. I think Perez is going to, if he does come on, he's going to try and in the second half create a bit of damage. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw, like a 1-1 or 2-2. I'd love Arsenal to win, obviously, but I see it more as a draw. I see it more as a draw.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm probably a bit more pessimistic, to be honest, because I'm really, again, like the game at Anfield against Liverpool, I'm really not expecting much against Arsenal. Our record at the Emirates is, pretty poor. Last few seasons, I mean, we won there the first season the Emirates opened. Bobby Moore scored 1-0, and then the opening game of the 2015-16 season, where West Ham won 2-0. But apart from that, Arsenal dominated against us at the Emirates. So I'm expecting the same again, really. But we just need to be more consistent in our performance over the 90 minutes rather than like here or there, really. I just fear for our defence. We've conceded 6 goals already. We conceded the joint most goals in the league last season. And despite buying new players at the back, same problem seems to be happening, which is frustrating. So, but I think Pellegrini hopefully will make some changes at the back, because after Masuaku, look, as much as he's great going forward, he cannot defend at all, and he cannot read danger at all. So hopefully Aaron Cresswell, coming back from injury, hopefully he'll start and play at left back. I'm not really sure what's happening with Declan Rice. I mean, he played against Liverpool and he was just completely out of the matchday squad against Bournemouth. Same with Ryan Fredericks and Mikel Antonio, which is, I suppose, is good on Pellegrini. He's not afraid to drop players, but it's a bit weird especially as they weren't all injured. So that was a bit surprising. But I think Rice has got to play. I think maybe not in midfield, but he was great last season for a centre half. Made a few mistakes, but he showed real leadership qualities towards the end of last season and played pretty well. So I think he should play, really. I think I'd bring Fredericks back in, because Zabaleta, I think, would be good for the odd game, but Fredericks has got to be our right back, really, for the most of the games, really. Especially if we've got Yarmolenko on the right or Snodgrass on the right, where they like to tuck in on their left foot. We need someone with pace overlapping, where Zabaleta can't do that all the time. So I think Fredericks should really start playing. I think Arsenal will win. I think our defence is too shaky. I think Arsenal's defence is quite shaky as well at the moment, but with their firepower, I think they might be too much for West Ham. So I think Arsenal 2-1. I think.
Okay, I'll take that. But I'm hoping that for this game he'll try Leno out in goal.
Okay.
I think it's good to see him now. See what he's made of. I think Czech's going to still want to try and fight for his position, but it's the third game in. I think we should give him a go.
Czech's not done too badly though.
He's not. No, he's done some fantastic. He did some great saves against Chelsea, but he's also a bit of a liability as well. And with this new pass-back system as well, he looks very sort of cagey. But no, he's still a great keeper. But I would like to see. I'd like to see Leno. I just want to see what he's about, and I want him to give Czech that pressure.
Yeah.
I think you need that. I think you need a bit of competitive nature. Mustafi, I think, is going to bloody play again. I can just imagine it. Guendouzi, I want him to play, but I would love to see Aubameyang and Lacazette start together.
Yeah.
And kind of maybe see sort of Mkhitaryan on the left kind of thing, because he can feed it through. But we'll see. I think it'll be an interesting game. I think my gut feeling is it could be a draw, but if there was one team to win, I think Arsenal do have the edge.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be like the last game when Wenger's last game against West Ham when we stuffed you.
4-1, yeah. Okay, so what changes would you like to see happen? You said about Leno. Any other players you'd like to see play?
I think that's it really for me. I mean, I want to kind of watch it and observe it and kind of get a gauge of kind of Emery's tactics. But for me, the ones that stand out is I'd like to see Lichtsteiner play instead of Bellerin.
Yeah.
I think that's important to get him on to see what he's about. Leno, I'd like to see him in goal. Guendouzi's got to start, in my opinion. But I think the main thing is definitely see Aubameyang and Lacazette start together. I'd love to see that partnership. It could be like a Bergkamp-Henry revival. Other than that, I just kind of want to see what happens. but that's kind of my desire, if you like.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'd like to say a few changes, really. So, as mentioned, I'd like to see Cresswell play instead of Masuaku at left back. I would play Masuaku, but play him further forward, definitely. I'd make a change to centre half. I think Ogbonna and Balbuena both look shaky, I have to say, so far. So, I'd play Jop. You know, he hasn't played yet, but I'd play him, possibly him and Balbuena, I think. I'd like to see Fredericks at right back. So there's Zabaleta. I think we need to play three in midfield, really. I mean, 4-4-2 against Bournemouth is okay, albeit I don't think it really worked for us, but away at Arsenal we've got to be more solid in midfield, need more legs in midfield. So in midfield I'd have Wilshere. Looks like Noble's going to be out injured, potentially, so Wilshere, Obiang and possibly Sanchez as a three in midfield. And up front, I'll probably drop Anderson because he hasn't really fired yet, but I'd bring him off the bench certainly. I have Masuaku, Marko Nautovic, and on the right I'd play Yarmolenko from the start because he looked quite a threat when he come on against Bournemouth. So hopefully he'll get some match fitness. So I think I'd play him from the start on the right, 4-3-3, and just go for it because I think we've got to defend a lot better than we have done. But Arsenal, they're there for the taking at the back, as we've seen in the two games. So, but when we do get our chances, we've got to take them and look a lot more threatening going forward. We've just got to let the handbrake off and just go for it when we do have the ball. But be solid and keep the concentration out at the back.
I think the last thing I want to say, though, in terms of pressure now, obviously both managers have lost the first two games. I think really it's inevitable. I think if Pellegrini does lose, the fans will kind of still have support for him. I think with Emery, Arsenal fans might be a little bit more negative. I won't be. I'll still be understanding and taking it for. But yeah, I think he needs to win this.
Yeah, it's more of a must-win for Arsenal. You know, because they've had two hard games, haven't they, against top six rivals. West Ham's a game they're expected to win. You know, they're at home. They've got a good record against West Ham. So if they don't win, even if they get a draw, I don't think it's a particularly good result for Arsenal. I'll take that as West Ham. I'd certainly take a draw, but I think that might help in West Ham's favour. The pressure isn't on us at all. No. It's all on Arsenal. Do
you think Arsenal will still finish fourth? That's what you said in your preview.
Yeah, video. Close. I think they might fall just short. But again, we haven't seen the full potential of Emery's team yet. So once they click, like West Ham, I think they'll do well. Do
you think West Ham feel 7th or 8th still?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's not much between the teams outside the top six. You know, the difference between the team that finishes 7th and finishes sort of 14th, 15th, I don't think there'll be much difference at all points-wise. It'd probably be how it is last season, where it was quite congested, wasn't it? Like you win a game and you go up like 3 places or whatever. So I still think once we get some momentum, get a few wins together, I think we could still get 8th. But even, as you said earlier, even finish 10th or 11th or whatever, as long as we're not flirting relegation, looking over our shoulder constantly, then I'd certainly settle for that.
Yeah, so bring on the game then.
Yeah, let's hope it's a good one.
Indeed. Well, thanks again, people. You know what to do. Please subscribe and follow us on Twitter. It's garage_football. Take care.
Thank you.